Hola and welcome back to From Mi Casa to Yours. In today's video, as you've seen by the title, today we're going to be decorating for el Día de los Muertos. First, I am going to start off by placing a white table cover. I chose white because it signifies purity. To create different levels on your ofrenda, you can use crates, shelves, tables, anything to create different levels. You'll see what I used in a second. I decided to make my ofrenda 4 different levels this year, including the table, plastic cabinets, and 2 different kind of box sizes. And you're going to see me cover it with a plastic table cover. You can also use white tablecloths for this. So my mom and dad actually hopped on this journey and helped me with this year's ofrenda. They were super excited that I was doing this, and they did not hesitate once to ask if they could help. Honestly, this was such a wonderful experience for all of us. You will see us just basically trying to set up and decorate the altar. This is what it's looking like so far. I added a Bible, the Virgin Mary, and Jesus. You will see eventually as the video goes on the changes we made, but now we're putting the papel picado, which is the union between life or death. This is also the air element. So basically, we just been going back and forth on how to make the altar look nice, and my dad thought that it would look even better if we hung these items at the very, very top of the ceiling, basically. So this is how it looks so far. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I live in Apache Junction. I got these skulls here at the dollar store. Unfortunately, in the area that I live at, we normally don't have like the big stores, or not even like really close Mexican stores where we can get some of these stuff. So I had to improvise. But eventually I will show you what I ended up substituting for the sugar skulls. Here I am just basically explaining to my parents how and what I wanted in each level. So this is what it's looking like so far. Just doing it with my parents. Just reminiscing about, you know, how we would do this in Mexico, and it actually feels, if you guys were to ever try this, it makes me feel a bit nostalgic, but it brings me back to when I was a kid. And then I feel something inside is just something beautiful. No words can really explain it. It's gonna be a very simple ofrenda, and I think the most important thing about it is the feeling, the thought that you put into it, what matters. And like I had mentioned before, I was very, at the end of the day, what matters is a reason you're doing it and what the meaning of this whole thing is. And honestly, just setting it up itself reminds me of my childhood and how I remember, like, I mean, preparations would start months ahead, let me tell you. Months ahead, I was reminiscing with my mom. I remember, I don't know what they're called, but the wreaths that you put when like someone passes away with flowers or whatever. So in Mexico, they have like a different way of doing it. So we would, I don't even know how to describe this paper or this material, but my mom would start making them different colors, white and green. And I remember you would fold it like a fan and then staple it, and then that you would staple into the whole wreath, and you would create your own. And not only that, like she would make a lot of them. I know that was like months, probably like September or like even towards the end of August. I remember her starting that. And then I remember the day of, like the day of the celebrations, going over, cleaning my grandpa's grave, and then just like, you know, dusting off all the dust and cleaning it up, and just like even rake around it, just make it all nice and pretty. Spending some time there, like at that, you know, that day, and then just going back the next day and really spending time there, setting up the wreaths. It's definitely, I mean, crazy and beautiful, to be honest. So this has definitely been very nostalgic. Even just setting up the altar the way that we left it in the earlier on the video. I mean, we were just, after I stopped filming, we just sat down for like an hour and a half and just talked about all these things about it. So thank you guys, and it's been awesome. Happy November 1st. November 1st is All Souls Day, and I am starting off by lighting up an incense, which is to keep the bad spirits and negative energy away. On this day, I did a lot of it by myself due to the fact that I needed to make sure that this was ready for this day, but also November 2nd. I added the candles, which illuminate the visiting souls' way. Also, I am putting down the pictures of our loved ones that have passed. The candles also represent the element of fire. This was definitely very emotional for me, and you guys will see my reaction and how I just take a moment. Now I'm going to be adding the cempasúchil, also known as marigold. This represents the sun, and just like the candles, it guides the visiting souls. Also, like I mentioned before, I wish that I would have been able to find more of these flowers, but unfortunately, I live 45 minutes from an actual like Hispanic store where I can get these. But I got these from Safeway, and honestly, like I mentioned, it was definitely going to be a simple ofrenda, but I honestly did this from the bottom of my heart, and that is what counts. I'm also going to be adding this bouquet of cempasúchil that surprisingly I found at the 99-cent store. Now I'm going to be making a cross using these candles that is to guide the visiting souls to this altar. Now I am going to be adding water, which after a long journey helps the visiting souls purify themselves. Salt is also another element of purification. I am going to be adding fruit, which is an earth element, and I'm going to be adding pan dulce, which will substitute el pan de muerto. I'm also going to bring out my loved one's favorite dishes along with drinks. And here I am just rearranging the placement. Since I didn't have sugar skulls, I'm going to be adding this sugar bowl. The sugar skull represents the presence of death as well as the acceptance that death is a part of life.